Hello friends and fans of Tanana Chiefs Conference. My name is Marna Sanford with your weekly advocacy update. So it came to our attention after we posted last week's update that there was some issues with our website. Sorry about that, folks. We have now fixed those issues and we have this week's written update as well as several archived updates available on the advocacy website under the news link. If you guys have any issues accessing those, make sure you let us know. We'll make sure that those are available to you. What is happening in Juneau this week? It is conference committee time. For those of you who may not remember, a conference committee is when there is a piece of legislation that passes both the House and the Senate, but those versions are different from one another. So what happens is the Senate picks a few people and the House picks a few people, and they get together in a conference committee to work out the differences. Tanana Chiefs is very lucky this year because both the House and the Senate have somebody who represents Tanana Chiefs community sitting. So we actually have 2 people out of 6 representing our interests in the conference committee. The issues for this year's conference committee are going to be the size of the permanent fund dividend and how large the cuts are going to be to the state's operating budget. As you'll recall from last week's update, the Senate cut about $259 million from last year's operating budget. The House did not make as deep of cuts. There will be some discussion on whose version will be accepted and how deep the cuts will be. Again, we are going to be watching Medicaid very closely. Expect budget negotiations to finalize this week with the amount of the permanent fund dividend, what we've all been waiting for, to be decided, and I'm sure it will make news everywhere. So what else happened in Juneau this week? The Senate passed the version of the capital budget. This year's capital budget includes some money for the Alaska Marine Highway System to update some of the ports. It includes some money to leverage community grants, which a lot of our Tanana Chiefs communities use to help fund many things within their communities, along with a fairly hefty amount for deferred maintenance of all of the buildings currently owned by the state. With time running out, the capital budget still must be approved by the House before it heads to the governor. Generally, though, this is one of the smallest capital budgets that we've seen in years, and we expect that probably until things turn around with our state finances. What's going on in Washington, D.C.? As you'll recall, we were talking about the reorganization effort last week. For the first time ever, newly confirmed Department of Interior Secretary Barnhart testified in front of the House Appropriations Committee. He was subjected to very tough questions on a number of things that the Democrats who now run that committee have been waiting to have answers on, namely the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, some of his decisions on drilling, the reorganization effort, and his proposed budget, which cuts funding to Native American, Alaska Native communities fairly substantially. Secretary Bernhardt was as cool as a cucumber and answered the questions in only the way a good politician can, with a fair amount of non-answers. You can see the links to the full hearings on the advocacy update that's posted on our website. You can also see the testimony that Tanana Chiefs Conference submitted for all of our appropriation needs and wants. Thanks for tuning in again this week. Remember to find us on tananachiefs.org on the advocacy link.